you eligible for a free car? Would you even know? We have found a dozen programs that provide free cars to low-income Americans, but most people don't know they exist. Heck, I research resources for a living, and I didn't even know about some of these until a caseworker called me up and told me to apply. And that moment changed my life because I was actually selected to win. So a little later, I'm going to walk you through how I aced that application and how you can too. But for now, whether you need a personal car or a literal semi-truck, there are real programs out there that may be able to help you get one for free. So let's dive in and find out what you might be eligible for. But before we get into those details, I'd love to know, if you were given a free car, how would that change your life? Would it help you get to work, take your kids to school, make it to doctor's appointments? Drop a quick comment and let me know, because we have found so many other transportation resources that might be able to help you too. Because trust me, I get it. Transportation is a huge deal, especially if you live in a rural area. Several years ago, when low-income relief was very new, my family and I were driving an old Ford Expedition that was literally held together by duct tape and prayer. It was a mess. The radiator leaked, the spark plugs were popping out, the fuel gauge didn't work, which meant I had to guess if we had gas, and that left us stranded more than once. The back door didn't shut quite right. It was a wreck on wheels. But we were a one-car family with 5 kids, and losing that vehicle meant losing access to everything: groceries, medical appointments, you name it. So when it finally blew a gasket, I almost did too. The repair was going to cost more than $5,000, which we absolutely did not have. Not even close. I had already called every charity, every resource I could think of, and nothing was working. One organization did pledge to pay about half of the repair cost, but I didn't have any way to come up with that other half. It really seemed like we were out of options completely, until a caseworker called and said, "Hey, you should apply for a free car from this program." She sent me the link and encouraged me to get started, and that changed everything. I had never heard of that program before. I probably would have thought it was a scam at first if I hadn't received that link from someone that I trusted. But it turns out it was very real. And after a little bit of paperwork and a lot of luck, we were actually selected to receive a free car. Now, the vehicle they offered didn't end up being the right fit for our family. It didn't have enough seats for all of our kids, so we decided to pass that on to someone else who could get better use out of it. But knowing that we were chosen at all, that it was real, that programs like this existed, gave me hope that I hadn't felt in a very long time. And ever since then, I've been on a mission to find every single vehicle program that might help you too. Our free car list on our website is one of the most frequently updated articles we have. So let's start with the one that worked for me. That program, the one that changed everything, is called Keys to Progress, and it's honestly one of the best places to start because they give away around 100 cars every year. Now, Keys to Progress is run by Progressive Insurance. Every year, they team up with local nonprofits and community organizations to give away personal vehicles, work trucks, and even semi-trucks in some cases. Can you believe that? They've given away free semi-trucks. That just sounds crazy to me. Now, they're not offering a semi in 2025, but that may change again in the future. So definitely keep an eye on that if you're interested in commercial driving. So this program is specifically designed for military and veteran families who have a low income. If that doesn't describe you, don't give up yet, because we have other programs we're going to talk about in this video. But for the Keys to Progress program, this means that your income must be under 250% of the federal poverty level. There are other requirements too, like having a clean driving record and passing a background check and so on, but you can see all of those details on their website. And here's the thing that trips people up. They have changed things, so you can't just go to their website and pull up a form and apply anymore. You actually need to get a qualified sponsor to request an application for you. That sponsor can be a nonprofit, a veteran support group, a religious organization, or even a social worker. Basically, anybody who is familiar with your situation, knows your need, and can vouch for you in a professional way. Now, before you all send me emails, I am not able to do this for you. I'm not a nonprofit. I don't know you personally. This is not a role that I am able to fill. However, if you reach out to the VA or to a social worker on base, they can usually help get that referral for you. So once they submit the application for you, then you just have to wait. If you are selected, someone from Progressive will call or email you, usually by September of that year. And you may have to play a little bit of phone tag. There was quite a bit of back and forth when they were trying to get a hold of me. The cars are usually given away around Veterans Day, so just keep an eye out for those calls around September before November time. Now, when I applied, I had the chance to submit a written statement, and there was one specific thing that I did that I truly believe helped us get selected. I'm going to share exactly what that was a little later in this video, so make sure to stick around. For now, I want to take a look at a program that might be an even better fit for you, especially if you're not part of a military family. Another fantastic option is a program called Free Charity Cars, also known as 1-800 Charity Cars. They've been around since 1996 and have awarded more than $90 million worth of vehicles to people in need, including families, veterans, domestic violence survivors, the medically needy, and even folks recovering from natural disasters. This program is available nationwide, and unlike Keys to Progress, you don't need to be affiliated with the military. If you're a low-income household and you don't have reliable transportation already, this could be a great fit for you. To qualify, you need to be at or below 200% of the federal poverty level, be a U.S. resident who's 18 or older, and have a valid driver's license. You also need to show that you have a genuine need for a vehicle, meaning that you don't have a sustainable way to get around right now. Now, the application process for this one is a little bit simple. You just go online to freecharitycars.org and you'll need to fill out the form there. After you apply, your name will go into their system, and when a donated vehicle becomes available in your area, their team will start reviewing those applications to decide who gets one. Now, I'm going to be honest with you, this website has changed a lot in recent years. There's a lot more ads on there than there used to be. When I first started reporting on them, I don't know what the cause of that is, but I want you to be mindful of that as you go to the website so that you can be careful where you're clicking. Now, your personal story does matter a lot in your application, right? If your application is truly compelling or inspirational, you have a better chance of being selected. Charity Cars also suggests that you share the charity on social media because that tends to help increase donations, and people who actively promote the organization tend to have more visibility in the system as well. And yes, they do offer vehicles in all 50 states, including Hawaii and Alaska. Now, another great resource is Cars for Heroes. This nonprofit helps provide free vehicles to people who serve their communities and are in need of reliable transportation. Now, this can include veterans, active duty military, and their families, but it also extends to first responders and even civilians who are struggling. So they do have separate application forms for each one of those groups. It does look like those forms are pretty straightforward, but they do say up front that they can't respond to everyone. So if you are selected, you will be contacted for an interview to move forward. And if you're not selected, they're probably not going to reach out to you at all. One thing I love about this program is that they focus on real people in crisis. So even though the process can take some time, they are genuinely trying to meet the need where it exists. Now, you can find all of their applications directly on their website. And of course, I'm going to link everything for you on our website at the link that you see on screen. That's going to have the links for all of the free car programs that we know about. Now, I know that we've been over a lot of information, but we are just getting started, and I have all sorts of application tips and other things you need to know, so don't go anywhere. There are a bunch of state-specific programs that offer free vehicles to people in need too, depending on where you live. I'm just going to run through some of the highlights really quickly, because honestly, I get a lot of heat in the comments when I spend too much time talking about state-specific stuff, and I get it. If the program isn't in your area, you don't want to sit through a bunch of details that don't apply to you. I totally understand that. But personally, I think this is where some of the best help is hiding. So I'm going to give you a quick rundown, and if you want a deeper dive on what's available in your state, let me know in the comments. We'll probably put that on our second channel, Fast Facts by Low Income Relief, so make sure that you're subscribed over there as well if you want to see more of that kind of content. So with that in mind, let's go. In Colorado, there's a program called Good News Garage that helps single moms and widows. Florida has Wheels of Success, which helps people who are working full-time or have a full-time job offer. In Maryland, Vehicles for Change has awarded thousands of cars since 1999. The cars aren't totally free, though. They are awarded for about $950, but they are fully inspected and repaired, and the organization says that this transportation has helped people access better jobs and opportunities and so forth, so they do ask for that. Minnesota is home to several free vehicle programs, including Wheels for Women and Auto Technical, which helps domestic violence survivors, job seekers, and clients referred by local service agencies. New Jersey offers support through Strengthen Our Sisters, which helps women who have survived domestic violence or are trying to get back on their feet. In South Dakota, Wheels to Work helps single-parent families with vehicle access as well. In Texas, they have a great program called OnRamp, which provides free vehicles to people referred by partner organizations. Vermont has a Good News Garage program, and in Virginia, Car Ministry gives away between 50 to 90 vehicles a year to people referred by local service organizations, social workers, or pastors. And out in Virginia, Good News Mountaineer Garage helps people who are on TANF and actively participating in work programs. Now again, I know I went through that fast, but if you want me to slow it down in a future video and cover those in more detail, just drop a quick comment below and let me know. We'll make that happen over on the Fast Facts channel. So now let's talk about a few things you need to know if you really want to win one of these cars. Okay, first of all, I want to point out how many of those organizations you have to get a referral from a nonprofit or a social worker for. This is one of the reasons why I'm constantly telling people that you need to connect with the resources in your community, even if you don't think they're that valuable. I know $23 in food stamps isn't probably going to change your life, but being connected to a caseworker might. The fact that you get eligible for one program and then you're eligible for another, or you get those referrals, that can often be more valuable than the benefit you get from the program itself. You need to make sure you are staying connected to your community resources. Now, beyond that, what about your application itself, right? I've obviously applied to programs like this before, and over the years, we've helped tons of people figure out how these application processes work. And along the way, I've noticed a few patterns that can really make a difference. First, you need to tell your story. Most of these programs receive way more applications than they could ever possibly fulfill. So you need to make sure that yours stands out. Don't just say, I need a car, I don't have one. Instead, explain why. What happened that put you in this situation? What makes you unique? What would change in your life if you had reliable transportation again? This is one of the reasons why I asked that question earlier, to get you thinking. You need to use vivid emotional language and be specific. Instead of saying, well, I can't get to work, you might say something like, every morning I wake up 2 hours early to catch 2 different buses, and then I walk a mile just to get to my job. I'm scared to death every time the buses run late because if I lose this job, I will lose everything. Okay, see how much more impactful that is? The more clearly you paint that picture, the more memorable your application becomes. Next, include images if you can. As they say, a picture is worth 1,000 words, right? Some programs will allow you to upload photos or a document. If you can't upload a photo directly, you can usually embed one in a Word or a Google Doc file so that they're included in your written statement. That's what I did with our application. I said the vehicle was held together by duct tape and prayer, and then I included multiple images to prove it. If your car is falling apart, show it. If your family's been walking in the snow to get groceries, show it. Just like storytelling, a strong image can stick with the person reviewing your file. Now, if your family has been walking in the snow to get groceries, or if you've been catching buses to try to get to work, illustrate that the best way that you can, whether that's through verbal storytelling or strong images. I prefer strong images because those can really stick with the person who's reviewing your file. Next, you want to try to align your story with the mission of the organization, right? For example, if you're applying to a program that exists to help people get back to work, focus on how transportation is going to help you hold a job or move up in your career. If you write your statement about something completely different, that's not going to resonate with them the same way. If the charity focuses on domestic violence survivors, don't gloss over your story. Speak to your recovery journey and how a vehicle would help support your fresh start. Now, just to be clear, you should never lie on these applications. I do not support any form of fraud or cheating of any kind. I'm only laying out these ideas because I've seen plenty of deserving people who get glossed over because they didn't know how to write a compelling application or a statement. You have to remember the reviewer doesn't know your life. They don't live your life. They don't know what you're going through. And if you want them to help you, you have to do everything you can to help them understand where you're at, whether that's through words or images or screenshots or whatever. There is a big difference between misleading someone in an application, which is wrong, and framing your story in a way that is compelling and accurate, even if it includes details that maybe you gloss over or are just used to because you're living that story day after day after day. So just be mindful of that. Now, before I go, I just want to remind you of one more thing, and this is, of course, the bad news, right? Most of these programs do provide the car itself for free. But you will still be expected to cover things like insurance, registration, license fees, emissions tests, and so on. There may even be transfer fees required to obtain the car in the first place. Make sure that you're prepared to handle those costs the best you can, because if you're selected and you can't cover them, you might end up missing out. I would suggest running maybe a GoFundMe or reaching out to some local charities in your area to see if they can help you just in case you win. And don't forget to check out our other videos for more ways that you can save money and get free stuff. I'll see you there.